Hello everyone, welcome back to Rayman Origins. In this part, we begin the true final world, Moody Clouds, which is like a weird steampunk airship thing. Yeah.
Why are the clouds so moody? Did the girlfriend break up with them?
Her. Cloud's always moody though. Like, that is one of the things is that, like, Cloud isn't really angsty. We were talking about this the other part, but Cloud isn't really angsty, but he is often moody, which is a different thing.
What Cloud is trying to do in general is probably more relatable to the Japanese because they see this as more recognizably, stereotypically cool than we do, but the stoic, unconcerned, unemotional vibe is just seen as, like, really mature, you know? Like, you're in total control of your feelings, that kind of thing.
I never saw Cloud as... Well, I mean, he might have...
I mean, he's trying to affect that behavior. Not
like,
necessarily
he's trying to be like, I don't care about your cause, but he very clearly does care about your cause, otherwise he wouldn't be here.
He's trying to affect that behavior and not entirely pulling it off is the point. And that in itself is kind of a relatable thing to see in a culture that sees that behavior as a sign of maturity and coolness, you know? It's why characters like Sasuke Uchiha are so popular, because they appear to be so serious and on point and on task and emotionally in control of themselves, but they're not really, because they've got darkness inside. Ooh.
Oh, they've got darkness. Is it supposed to be ironic that Naruto actually has darkness inside him, but he's more...
Yes, it is supposed to be ironic, but, like...
Okay,
don't put too much stock into the thematic relevance of Naruto as a character, because if you try to, he's going to come off as kind of a hypocrite, because the story is all like, oh, hard work and dedication are what really makes someone a good ninja.
But he has every advantage known to the ninja world.
He's got like 20,000 times more natural chakra than anyone else. He's got a superpowered demon in his belly. He's
got the best teachers in the land.
The only semi, like, admirable thing he ever pulls off is the Sage Mode thing, which is, like, the only thing he ever pulls off that's not related to his own absurd chakra reserves or to the demon he has locked inside him. So, and then, of course, they just, like, they use it once and then ignore it for most of the rest of the series.
I thought that he had huge chakra reserves because he had a demon inside of him.
He also comes from, like, a super... powerful, like, bloodline lineage stuff too.
Yeah, he comes from the extinct Uzumaki clan that has a lot of interesting story stuff attached to it, but is never really explored in the main series because
basically he has a bigger silver spoon than even Sasuke does.
I was gonna say, that's like it's one thing to have like a fucking demon inside you, but you're also part of an ancient like.
He doesn't have a silver spoon because like his clan was exterminated like many generations ago in some old war, but like he does have advantages because of his bloodline, and it's like, yeah, there's not a whole lot to him that comes from hard work, no matter how much people say, no matter how much he or anyone else claims it does. But the Sage Mode thing is actually pretty clever, because Naruto is a hyperactive, gung-ho, stubborn as hell person who can't sit still, and he had to master the art of sitting still to unlock that power. And that's kind of fun. I wish they'd done more with that idea, but they don't.
Oh wait, so they gave him a planner and his ADHD went away?
No, he had to, like, he had to meditate and sit, like, when I say still, I mean literally motionless, because if you move when absorbing the natural chakra that activates Sage Mode, you turn into a stone statue of a toad. It's weird.
Do you ever get to come out of the statue of a toad?
No. No. And like, it's supposed to be really hard to do. Like, even his teacher Jiraiya could only do it imperfectly, so he kind of took on some toad-like appearance traits whenever he used Sage Mode. But Naruto managed to master it perfectly because he was able to sit just that motionless. And that's like That's the kind of thing that does speak to real character effort and character growth, because it's the character mastering something that is so fundamentally opposed to their normal personality that they really have to put in the effort to do it. And he gets to a point where he can just do it in the middle of a battle and activate Sage Mode in a pinch, and that's really admirable. The entire pain battle was a really fun read because of that. I say a fun read because the animation in the anime version of it is legendarily awful at points.
The animation got bad in Naruto because I remember I only watched the first arc, but I remember the animation being good in the fight scenes.
Naruto is one of those 90s shows where they have a different team doing the animation for every episode. So you'll go from having really good animation in one episode and one episode in particular of the pain battle had this really amusingly terrible animation studio doing the work that's to the point
I'm sure
where
there are GIFs. I'm going to look them up.
GIFs, videos. It's kind of the episode itself and the animation during the battle is kind of a meme in the community, to be honest.
Is it the one that I'm thinking about? I've never watched the show, but I think I might know which one you're thinking about.
I'm looking for a GIF.
The first time I saw the episode in question...
here it is.
The first time I saw the episode in question, it actually was a YouTube video about it, and I thought, no, that can't actually be the official episode, can it?
It is.
It really looked like a bad Flash animation that was specifically meant to make fun of Naruto, but no, that's the actual episode.
Okay, okay, so like his face, like distorting and whatnot, like I can at least see what they were trying to do there, but like him, like. Him flying across
because I never actually saw the proper episode, like in its original format. I'm assuming this is slowed down.
No, not really.
No,
not really.
It's just that
bad. I mean, there are definitely like people who will ingenuine people who will take tween frames and be like, oh, this is bad animation, but it's like
the entire it's like like
that's the entire sequence.
The entire sequence of that particular episode and the action scenes it animates is like what it would look like if those people had a point. So
yeah, because like anybody can because like nobody would say Beauty and the Beast is a badly animated movie, but like
Disney
there's also
World.
like Disney World. There's so many good Disney World memes from Beauty and the Beast. Like my favorite one is Gaston with like his arms dislocating, and he's like Disney World.
So,
oh man, to talk about the game for half a second. God, that clenched my butthole so hard when I actually had to do that.
The platforming challenges in this level do look pretty intense. Yeah.
This is where the game gets really hard.
Yeah, I mean it's not just are we in Mad Gear Zone? We're in Mad Gear Zone. Great, wonderful. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that was my fault.
You see, that's a lot more entertaining than just running on a gear through an area with absolutely nothing trying to kill you for 30 seconds. Sonic, thank you.
I mean, I was thinking of, there was a part earlier in the water level where fish were chasing you, and they would slightly slow down or speed up depending on how complicated the area you had to swim was. And my first thought was, oh, Sonic 4. Hi. Hello, Sonic 4, my old friend. It is just amazing how like easy it is to make fun of Sonic 4. And many,
yeah.
I didn't say Sonic 4, just Sonic in general. It's easy. Easy money.
Making fun of Sonic is easy. I agree.
I like
there.
making fun of Sonic.
But making fun of Sonic 4 is especially easy.
Like, okay, let me put it this way. If making fun of Sonic is normally like playing on easy mode, making fun of Sonic 4 is like turning on Super Guide. Like you don't even have to do it. It does it for you.
It's playing Baldur's Gate on story mode. At that point, what are you even playing the game for?
Your internet connection's bad and you don't have access to a Let's Play to watch.
I mean, yeah, but there's like 4 other easy modes between normal mode and story mode. So, like...
4 other easy modes?
Yeah. Baldur's Gate has core rules mode, which is AD&D without, like, any conveniences. Then there's normal mode, which turns off some of the more fiddly elements. Then there's, like, 2 easy modes below that. That are, like, both absurdly easy and pretty, like... not difficult at all to play through. And then Enhanced Edition added story mode below all of that, which makes it impossible to lose. Like, you literally can't die ever. You're immune to half of the negative status ailments, and basically the game, well, you have AI scripts for your party, so the game can literally play itself if you want it to. It's
So,
literally
like,
just there if you don't want to do any of the combat stuff and just want to experiment with the story and all. And I would never call it a bad mode, because there is actually merit to being able to just play through the game painlessly and experiment with dialogue stuff. But, like, holy hell.
Yeah, how hard is the hard mode, though? Like...
There are 3 or 4 hard modes above normal mode as well. So it really depends on what kind of challenge you want. But
like, how dumb is the hardest hard mode, I guess is the question.
To put it the way the YouTuber I'm watching right now put it, Throne of Ball mode is there if you decided you hate yourself and want to pray to the god of quick saving. That's what he said. I've never played it myself, but I don't particularly want to, because the game is brutal enough on normal mode. Thank you very much. What did you just do that for?
I mistimed my run, because you have to run up there and then quick jump between these walls. But I went too early, and then the thing
Completely
wasn't
missed.
on the wall yet.
Oops.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about with the checkpoints earlier in the game, is that each section's hard, but once you do a successful run of a segment, it's only like maybe 30 seconds at a time. Yeah, that was just me being bad at video games.
I was trying to remember the name of the YouTuber that I just quoted, and it's John Hayes Strife, by the way. Sorry about that. My memory was failing me, which is odd, because I was just watching this video before we started recording.
But yeah, the amount of checkpoints, like here, I got this lump cage.
Yeah.
That's a checkpoint. I don't have to do that first section ever again where you are trying to climb up the wall. And that section could take you like maybe 4 or 5 tries to get right. So, like if you, if you were to get past that and then immediately die to the next segment and then have
like
trouble
that.
with that
Like
first
that.
section. I mean, but that happens in a lot of kinds of games, like especially say Castlevania. Is a big example, because there's sometimes a lot of instant death stuff in Castlevania, or you just take a lot of damage. You could like have a trouble with the first half of an area before a checkpoint. Then you get through that, you feel really good, you die to the next obstacle afterwards, and then now you're back at the thing that took you a half an hour to get through, and you have to do it again, and you never get to practice the second part because you're too busy dying on the first part. And then you don't have practice just on the second part, or you're out of resources, and so you just kind of die.
I mean, this is literally the kind of tight, precise platforming, tight, precise, fast-paced platforming that Super Meat Boy and Celeste both designed their levels with. So not being able to die and retry things quickly is a substantial penalty for failure. Yes. It's kind of why they don't do that in those games.
Yeah, that's fair in that you're allowed to make the game harder when the penalty for death is much lower. Because nobody would want to play. That's part of the reason why Super Ghouls and Ghosts and its friends are often considered so backbreaking, is that you can die and then you have to go a long way back before you can get back to where you were.
Of course, this is just like the end of the game. It's fine if the end of the game is punishing like this, but like if it had been...
I mean, even the end of this section like isn't too punishing. It's hard, but it's not punishing, which is what I like about it.
I guess what I'm saying is this kind of challenge in a regular platformer with like a regular set of regular level length, regular checkpoint distribution is really only doable, I think, if it's like just part of the game, because a full game of this would get pretty exhausting.
That's part of why nobody likes Lost Levels, because that is a full game of this without frequent checkpoints.
Yes.
Are there even checkpoints in World 8 of Lost Levels?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, it follows the same logic as the original game.
Yeah. Fuck that. And the extra worlds don't have checkpoints either, right?
I mean,
no, I don't think so.
I'll give Lost Levels some slack for that, because like it was early days and obviously they were still trying to work out what kind of difficulty curve works for a platformer.
Yeah, but there's also a reason why they never did that again.
Yes, there is. There's absolutely a reason they never did that again.
Yeah. And there's also a reason why you don't ever really see a game structured like that anymore, unless if you're the Ghosts and Goblins reboot, and like if you're playing a Ghosts and Goblins game, that's the whole point. So yeah. I'm trying to think of what the hardest platformer I've beaten is, though. Because, like, I don't think this game's hard. It's definitely not the hardest platformer I've beaten.
No. I mean, Meat Boy's pretty up there for me.
I've never beaten Meat Boy, so there's that.
I've besides the gold strawberries, I've 100%ed Celeste, which is pretty hard.
The Celeste is pretty tough.
Celeste is pretty tough, but I would say that beating Celeste, like, 1 through 7, isn't too bad. It's just the like C-side, B-sides.
Well, I mean, like I said, I did all the B and C sides. I did chapter 9.
I'm trying to remember if I ever actually finished Maximo. I mean, it's been that many years since I've last played it. Since I've last played it seriously, I mean, I did buy it on PS3 when it came out there, but I never actually played through it on PS3. But I did have it on PS2 back in the day. And
from my experience, 3D platformers are usually substantially easier than 2D ones.
Well, yeah, but Maximo is literally a 3D Ghosts and Goblins translation.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, like the only 3D platformer I can think of that has a reputation for high. That was my fault.
That was
one.
dumb.
I was like, is there a secret up there? No, not really. But I'm still stubborn. I need to know: is there a secret over here? Is there?
The answer is no.
There's not. But the only 3D platformer I can think of with a reputation for being challenging is Crash Bandicoot.
The Dark Souls of platformers.
The platformer of Dark Souls.
That's an interesting thing to bring up, though, because I don't think Crash Bandicoot had a quote-unquote reputation for being challenging until people talked about it being so difficult in modern times.
And even then, that was more on the first game than anything else.
It was more on the first game's completion requirements than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people certainly thought that like certain sub challenges in the sequels were hard, like the cold hard crash and stuff.
It wasn't the whole game, though.
Yeah, but that's just like,
no. And that only applies if you're going for 100%.
That's like but that's like that one annoying challenge that you have to do, and like every 3D platformer has one of those. I could rant for days about the fucking garbage bombing missions in Galaxy. Like,
yeah. See, the garbage bombing challenges don't really feel all that hard, though. They just kind of feel like random.
Well, yeah,
and
but
like it's just like, when do you make a mistake? You know, it's just like
but that's kind of the thing with Cold Hard Crash 2, because what makes it challenging isn't like the level design being so clever or hard. It's the fact that the requirement for getting the gem involves you backtracking and going through like this area that you just cleared twice.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I guess that there's like the reputation for the Super Galaxy and Galaxy 2. I forget the name of it. The grand finale one.
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, that's it. And then the Champion Road.
Yeah, but people view those kind of levels in sort of the same way that they view something like Omega Weapon in a Final Fantasy game. It's not the game that's hard. It's just like they have this one really hard super boss to it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people will view this game's secret final level too, in that similar way, the Land of the Living Dead, which is extremely challenging. But You don't have to do it to beat the game.
Do you do it for this playthrough?
Yeah. if I didn't do it for the playthrough, there would be riots. So of course I did it.
Riot of 1 or 2.
These enemies look really annoying.
Yeah, you have to do a charged attack or a running attack in order to knock them, and they don't get killed by the attack themselves. You have to hit them into an obstacle in order to attack them. So they are pretty annoying. Thankfully, if you're not rushing, they can be pretty all right.
I see, like, there's a lot of tight space here, so the running attack is likely to get you killed along with the enemy.
Yeah, the best way to do it is to have them...
Not that.
Is to not do that. Yes.
Not that.
The best way to do it is to have them shoot, and they shoot for a long time. So then you can charge up a hit and knock them.
Lure them into shooting, like, upward and diagonally, like...
Yeah.
Like, does it have to be a charged attack?
It can be a charged attack, an air attack, or a running attack. Like, you'll knock them a little bit if you do the standard attack. I don't know what hit me there. Probably the enemy hitbox, but... you can do a regular attack, which will stun them, but they won't go anywhere. Like, maybe once you get the last hit of the combo, they'll knock a little bit farther than normal. But you have to do some attack with a little bit of punch. Thankfully, this is, like, the last level with these guys. Because after this, I think there's, like, the final stage, which maybe has, like, 1 or 2 of them. And generally speaking, you don't have to fight most of them. You can ignore them. This is the exception, where they're guarding the chest, so you have to kill them all in order to open it.
That's kind of like... I imagine it would be a pain if a player who ignored all of those enemies up to this point had never figured out how to kill them.
Thankfully it is... I would say it's pretty obvious because, like, once you hit them enough, even just mashing the attack button, they'll fly into the buzzsaw just naturally, and you'll be like, oh, that's it.
Okay.
It might take, and again, like, the room's pretty short once you do it successfully, and then the level's over. So
It does look like an interesting challenge, though. I'll give it that.
yeah, that's one of the things I like about this game is that at the end of the level, there's like a little like puzzle to the combat to try to clear it the most efficient way, which is neat.